The first night the dog didn't return, Luke told himself not to worry. Dusty was old but clever, half cattle dog, half something feral, with one cloudy eye and a scarred muzzle earned long before Luke had found him wandering near the Cimarron River. Dusty had survived worse than a late return. Coyotes knew better than to test him. Men did too. Still, when the campfire burned down to red coals and Dusty hadn't come padding out of the darkness, Luke felt something tighten in his chest. "Don't be a fool," he muttered to himself, rolling his blanket tighter. "He'll be back by morning." But morning came without Dusty. Luke whistled. Loud, sharp. The sound rolled across the prairie and came back empty. He saddled his horse and rode the nearby draws, scanning for tracks. Dusty's paw prints were easy to recognize, slightly uneven from an old injury. But after a mile, the trail disappeared into hard ground. Luke didn't like that. By the second night, worry turned into dread. The prairie after dark had a way of digging old memories out of a man, things best left buried. Luke had lost people before. He knew that quiet, creeping fear that came when something precious went missing. He slept poorly, rifle across his chest, eyes snapping open at every sound. Just before dawn of the third day, Dusty returned. Luke heard him before he saw him, a low whine, unfamiliar, strained. He bolted upright and reached for his rifle. "Dusty?" The dog emerged slowly from the gray light. He was limping. Mud clung to his legs. His fur was matted with something dark, dried blood, though Luke couldn't tell if it was Dusty's or someone else's. But Dusty wasn't alone. Behind him, half stumbling, half dragged forward, came a woman. Her wrists were bound with rusted chains. Iron cuffs bit into her skin, raw and swollen. A length of chain hung between them, clinking softly with each step. Her dress, once Apache made, finely stitched, was torn and filthy. Bruises darkened her arms and neck. Her face was hollowed by hunger and exhaustion, but her eyes, dark, fierce, locked onto Luke with a mixture of terror and defiance. Luke felt the world tilt. "Easy," he said instinctively, lowering his rifle. "Easy, you're safe." The woman stopped when Dusty stopped. The dog sat, panting, placing himself squarely between her and Luke. Not guarding her from Luke, but guarding Luke from misunderstanding. Luke had never seen Dusty act like that before. The woman spoke, her English broken but clear enough. "Please don't send me back." Luke swallowed hard. "Back where?" She shook her head, as if the answer itself hurt too much. Dusty nudged Luke's knee, then nudged the chain with his nose, whining softly. Luke crouched slowly, showing empty hands. "I won't hurt you. I swear." The woman studied his face with the care of someone who had learned that survival depended on reading men quickly. "I am called Sanaya," she said at last. "I was taken." Luke's jaw tightened. He had heard stories, too many of them, about what happened in places where law didn't bother to reach. "Who chained you?" he asked quietly. She hesitated. "Men who said the dead would keep me quiet." Luke's blood ran cold. "The graveyard?" he asked. She nodded. The old graveyard lay a mile west, abandoned, half sunk into the earth, used by drifters and criminals who wanted no witnesses. Luke stood slowly. "Come with me," he said. "You don't belong in chains." Luke's cabin was little more than 2 rooms and a lean-to, but it was clean, solid, and warm. He led Sanaya inside carefully, keeping his movements slow. Dusty never left her side. Luke fetched bolt cutters from his tool shed, used mostly for fencing emergencies. When he knelt to cut the chains, Sanaya flinched. "Wait," she whispered. "Please." Luke froze. "What is it?" "If you free me," she said, voice shaking, "they may come back. They will say you stole me." Luke met her gaze. "Then they'll have to say it to my face." She studied him for a long moment. Then she nodded. The cutters snapped shut. The chain fell to the floor with a heavy clang that echoed like a gunshot. Sanaya swayed. Luke caught her elbow, steadying her without pulling her closer than necessary.